Hello everyone, welcome to the Salesforce CPQ our channel program. This side Amul Barnwal. Today I'm going to discuss about the problem statement related to CPQ. I would like to discuss some couple of like a problem which were I have pointed while discussing with some of the customer. A customer would like to see how this can be resolved while using Salesforce CPQ environment. So I'm moving to my next slide deck. This is all about me, myself, Amul Barnwal. I'm an integration architect and CPQ specialist. I started career in 2006 in information technologies, having more than 14 years of experience in Salesforce. I have delivered more than 300 projects in Salesforce. I did Master of Computer Application in 2006. I'm a CPQ specialist and integration architect and application architect, as well as I have completed my Sales Cloud consultant certificate as well as the Service Cloud certifications. So let's discuss about the agenda one by one and the POC item, the problem statement. So I would like to discuss the first POC or the problem statement here. So the problem statement is saying that the currency has to match on account, opportunity, and code. And can this be automated or not? Of course. As you see, the problem statement is saying that my customer is using the multi-currency in their org. So they are having, let's suppose, Japanese currencies or uh, Euro currency and the US dollar currencies. And the problem here is sometimes what it happen whenever customer belong to different geographical region. So let's suppose some of our customer belongs to UK region or some of the customer belong to US region. Some of them are belong to like a Japan region. So problem here is whenever I have been my default corporate currency is US, let's suppose, okay, or UK. In that scenario, what it happened whenever me as a sales rep, if I'm going to create an opportunity, what it happened based on my current currencies set up in my Salesforce org, I do have by default my that currencies get auto populated. But in this particular scenario, the currency ISO code has to be driven from the customer's account, not driven from the company's information or not should not be driven from the sales rep currency setup. Okay. So how you can resolve these scenarios, okay, in a Salesforce CPQ environment? Let's a deep dive in. So I have created a one approach here. We can write a process builder or flows that will stick the same currency across top to bottom process, meaning that I'm copying my account currency to opportunity currency and from opportunity currency to the code currency. So if I have been creating and defaulted, I have defaulted, let's suppose on account, I have defaulted one currency called Japanese currency. And whenever I am creating any opportunity in that scenario, the opportunity currency will be auto defaulted from my customer's account. And similarly, the code currency will also defaulted from my customer account or opportunity. Okay. So now let me open this one of our record that I have created in Salesforce. So in this scenario, if you see, I have my customer account name called Mititoyo Japan. And if you see my Japan, I have my account currency called Japanese yen because I am using a currency in my Salesforce called Japanese currency and US currency. So if I am going to create a new opportunity, let me create a new opportunity for this particular account. So I'm looking for MS Office deal. I would like to close this deal by end of this month. I'm selecting a one stage called prospecting and then click on save button. So what it happened after creating this particular opportunity, if you see my default currency get auto populated as Japanese currency, which are driven from my customer account. So this particular process, either you can write with help of flow or with help of process builder. Okay. So let me show you what I did here in order to resolve this problem. Similarly, if I go and create a new quotations for that opportunity, so let's suppose I'm going to create a new quotation for MS Office deal, and let's hit save. Okay, so this 38 number quote is being generated here. Now you see my currency is automatically set as Japanese currency because my opportunity currency and the customer currency is Japanese currency. So this is what the problem statement, how I have achieved. Let me go back to my setup. So either you can use a workflow rule, or either you can use a process builder, or either you can use a flow also. So you see, I have created this workflow rule. Inactive. I have created the just a second. Let me see what all active flow I do have. Let me also look at that process builder. If I go back here on our process automation, in that process automation, if I see whether I do have like opportunity process or code process, any one of the process, let me show you. Okay. You see, I have my opportunity process and code currency process. Let me open one of this opportunity process here. If you see, my opportunity, when opportunity is get created, update the currency actually. So my updated currency, which is I have been updating my opportunity currency with help of my account current currency actually. And similarly, you can do your currency change for your code currency also. So here you see, I have whenever any code is get created, and then update the code currency ISO code with the help of your opportunity currency ISO. This way, you have set up a process builder, or you can also write a flow so that you can automate this particular process. Okay, all right. Let's move to the another work item, another problem statement. Okay, my second problem statement is customer has some observation actually. There is a lot of repetitive or unnecessary entry that could or should be automated. For example, when you create a code from opportunity, you are forced to select a price book, but this does not pass through to the code, and so that you have to select it again when you edit the code line. Okay. So what is the problem statement here is, so my customer is having a multiple price in their company organizations, and whenever any sales rep is creating that code from an opportunity, they are whenever they are going to add a line item in that code, they have to select a price book manually actually. The problem here is, again, the sales rep has to pull that what you call a price book manually. They have to choose manually. There is not an automation actually. This can be also automated where we can default a price book based on certain conditions. So let's suppose I have only one price book in my Salesforce org. So you can just set that price book, which is a default price book on every code while creating a code. So solution approach is either you can use a process builder, either you can use a flow, or either you can use a workflow rule. That workflow rule or process builder or flow will automatically stick that default price book on your code record. So this way you can resolve your problem here. So let me go back to my problem statement here. Let me see what I have. Okay. So what I have here is I have created one workflow rule where always this criteria will be fulfilled. Based on this, based on this criteria, I am updating my price book of my code process ID, price book ID. So my price book ID is going to be default with this particular formula value, which is my standard price. So let me disable this before I move further for testing purpose. I will replicate that issue. Then I will enable that workflow rule to see the impact of that automation. So let me go back to the account. So let's suppose I have my customer name called Anand Milk Union Limited. In this Anand Milk Union Limited, I'm going to create a new opportunity called MS Office deal. I'm going to select my end date and stage. After creating this opportunity, I'm now going to create a code. And then click save. After creating a code, if you see on my code, if I go and click on edit line item to add a product line item, so you see me as a sales rep, I am being very like what you call confused, like why it is being selecting manually, why I have to select this price book manually actually. So I have like a one price book which is set up in my company setup. So this should be auto defaulted, right? So standard price book should be auto defaulted. How it can be done so that this pop-up should not appear while using our system, our CPQ environment. So what I did, I have written this workflow rule. Of course, you can go ahead and create a flow because Salesforce recommend to use a flow rather than using workflow rule and process builder. So our recommendation is to use the flow. So in order to solve this problem, I have used a workflow rule, but as a best practice, you should to use a flow builder also. Okay. So let's see, I have activated this workflow rule for now to auto default this price book on my on my code. So let me go back to my account. Okay. And then if I am going to create an opportunity call who putting my in date as a close date, then it should be a qualification, let's suppose, and then click on save button. Now I'm going to create a code here. I'm selecting a deal 2 as my opportunity, demo 2 is my opportunity. You see, I have my 40 number code is get generated, get created. Once it get created, if I go and click on edit line item, now you see, I do not need to select that price book auto means manually. Now here what it happened, after enabling this workflow rule, which I have been setting this price book automatically do using this workflow rule. So this is how you can resolve this particular problem statement. Let me move back to the another work item, another problem statement. Right. Okay. All right. So let's move to the problem statement 3. Okay, what is saying like what is the problem statement three? If we wanted to increase the price, say 5% in a year two of 3-year contract, what is the easy way to define that price uplift? Okay, in Salesforce CPQ environment, there is a price uplift with help of MDQ. MDQ meaning that multi-dimension coding process. You can uplift the your sales price. You can increase the price 5%, 10%, or 20% based on your scenarios. For year two or for year three, you can just increase the pricing as well as on renewal. Let's suppose you are going to renew down the line your opportunity or your contract. In that scenario, your renewal uplift has to be applied. So the problem here is how whenever any sales rep is going to go to the customer for a multi-year contract. If I am being quoting for 3 years, for first year I'm giving a 10% discount, but from second year I would like to uplift for 5% of my base price or 10% in the third year, then how you can utilize. So it is very simple approach in our CPQ environment. Let me navigate through the Salesforce environment here now. Just a second. I talked about it. It's called multi-dimension quoting, right? So here I have created one opportunity which I have been selling to LN 481 Inc. If I go and click on a edit line, I will show you how I have set up this MDQ. So you see, I have been contracting this particular customer for 36 months, means 3-year contract. For first year, I have been charging a 96, which is the discount I am giving of 20% for the first year. My list unit price is the $120. If I may or may not give a discounting here for the first year. Let's suppose I do not want to give any discount. I have removed this discount and $120 for a particular year actually. Okay, for 1 year contract. Second year, I may apply a 20% uplift or 5% uplift. So I may go and just change to 5% uplift for a second year and 10% uplift on a third year program. So with help of this multi-dimension quoting, you can increase the price for second year or third year, and you can apply a discount for first year. How the MDQ can be set up? Let me navigate to that scenario also. If you go and search for the product, I'm going to open one of the product that I have set up in my Salesforce environment. So this MS Office as a product, I have made it active. This MS Office is a subscription term of 12 years, which is a renewable. And in this scenario, if you see a related list called price dimension, I have created a price dimension called yearly price dimension. So you can create a yearly price dimension with a type called year. So the moment you have defined this price dimension under the product, you will automatically should be able to uplift that price while quoting to the customer. This is what we call price dimension, called MDQ, called multi-dimension quoting. Okay, now coming to the another scenarios. On renewal time, also we can use a uplift percentage to increase the price. Okay, so let's suppose I have already quoted to my customer, my contract is already been created for LN 481 Inc. In that particular scenario, there is one option called renewal model and renewal pricing method. In that renewal pricing method, you have to choose a price called uplift price. Okay. So what it happened, if you have any one of your contract, and whenever you are going to review that contract, what it happen, while renew that contract, it will apply your renewal uplift percentage because your renewal pricing method is set as uplift percentage. So on your renewal of the contract, if you go ahead to your contract, in that contract, if you have provided your renewal uplift percent called 10%, whenever you are going to renew that contract, what it does, Salesforce CPQ will automatically uplift that sales price to 10% for the second year or third year or fourth year for another renewal contract year. So this way you can resolve this particular problem. Thank you. So I have covered three problem statement. Let me move to the another problem statement now. Okay, the next problem statement is, the problem here is the customer is facing call is no review or approval hierarchy if sales discounts. So me as a sales rep, I have given a small client to like a 40% of discount, a huge discount, and there is no control in the system. Okay, how you can solve this particular problem in a Salesforce CPQ environment so that any sales rep should not allow to give a discount which is which is not driven by my company policy. My company policy is saying that, okay, for small business customers, I should not allow to give a discount beyond 40%. One is you can put a validation. My solution approach could be a different wide variety of way we can achieve this one. So what I have did, we can utilize either a standard discount or we can utilize what you call we can utilize a smart approval which can implement to control this quotation sent to the customer. So how you can control these situations whenever any discount is which is given by my sales rep for small customers or small client, if I'm giving a 40% greater discounting, then how it can be like controlled by my company. Okay. So in order to take a control in the Salesforce CPQ ecosystem, how I have to design in a Salesforce CPQ environment, there is a process called watermark zone. Okay, there is a process called watermark zone. I'm repeating again. There is a process called watermark zone. So let me show you what is the meaning of watermark zone. This watermark zone is basically automatically get turned on, meaning that whenever you are creating a code, it is going to be turned on automatically. And whenever any user is going to generate a document, if I'm going to generate a document, I can only generate a document in a draft mode, not a final mode, not a final version that I cannot send to a customer until I have taken an internal approval. So my code PDF will have a draft watermark behind because this has to be approved before I send to the customer. Okay, means this particular document I cannot send to the customer because I need to approve this internally. I need to take the approval internally. Okay, so in this scenario, you have to do first one thing. You have to just do the watermark zone as a true, auto defaulted automatically, always true. And then you have to also set up a approval rule in the system. So let me show you the how my approval will look like. So what I have set up, I have set up an advanced approval rule based on certain conditions and criteria based on my discounting criteria. I have set up like a manager level discount, manager level approval for my discount and for deal days approvals also. So meaning that I need to take an approval for these two users, then only once it is get approved, then only I will be able to generate a document. This is could be a final version, and then I must be able to send to my customer. So this way you can control so that sales reps should not be allowed to send any quotation with any discounting mode. Okay. So let me show you how this watermark zone can be unchecked also. So if I go and change my status to, let's suppose, approved, and then click on save. I'm doing it manually, but the moment you have submitted for an approval, your manager is going to approve, your deal desk is going to be approved. This process will automatically get this status checkbox to automatically approved. And the moment this status is approved, our watermark zone will be automatically turned off. Okay. So this will be automatically turned off if I'm going to generate my document. Let me see if I can see my document is generating a watermark without watermark or not. Okay, this is not generating, this is not having a watermark on zone actually, watermark unchecked. So let me do it manually here as of now. But again, these particular automation you can do with help of what? Again, a process builder or flow. So let's suppose I have written a flow saying that, okay, the moment your approved status is marked, your status is marked as approved, just uncheck this particular watermark zone to false. And the moment you see this watermark zone is unticked, means unchecked, and your quote status is approved, now user should be able to generate a final document. See, now I can generate my document without watermark. So I do not have any watermark behind that. This is my final version document. So this way you can make a control, you can take a control. Okay. Next topic here is, okay, all right. Another problem statement. So what is we want to create a bundle with the discount pricing if certain bundles is selected. Okay. Now the the problem here is customer would like to set up a bundle level discount. So let's suppose bundle A is clubbed with bundle B. If I'm selecting both the bundle A and B together, I need to have a certain discount which has to be applied automatically. Okay. Second scenario is I have my bundle. In that bundle, I have some standalone product also. If that standalone product is clubbed with that bundle, it should apply a different pricing. Or if I'm selling to a bundle A with another standalone, that could be a two scenarios. So let me give you some more example or uh, more example in detail. Okay. So CPQ provides a lots of capability to quote to the customer, meaning that standalone product can have a higher price than your bundle option. So one of your standalone product, if I am selling as a standalone, not in a bundle, in that scenario, my standalone product may have a higher price than your bundle offering price. Actually, if the same standalone product, if I'm going to sell with within that bundle itself, so that standalone product may be lesser price if I'm selling to the standalone as a product itself. So in that scenario, we can utilize a bundle pricing for this scenario. Let me give you the more approach or more solution oriented example here. So let's suppose I have my bundle one. In that bundle one, I have my MS 365 basic. In that basic, what it happened, I have my Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft Team, Outlook, OneDrive, SharePoint, and Exchange. What it happened, this bundle is charging me to $10 per month is my charge. But if one of my customer is also only looking for standalone product called MS Access database. So this MS Access DB, which is a PC only, they have to pay a $50 per month. What it happened? $10 plus $50 will become a $60 per month if I am quoting to a customer called bundle one plus standalone separately. So this is the one of the bundle configuration I can do. Another bundle configuration I can do where I have MS365 standard, where I do have my MS365 365 basic, which is already included, as well as my MS Access DB is also included in the MS365 standard, which is price is already included. So I'm not charging extra cost or extra price for this particular standalone product. So rather than charging a $60 per month, I would like to charge to a customer of $50 per month in a bundle two scenarios. So this is the two scenarios where you are solving your standalone price or your bundle level pricing. So how it can be happen, how it can be configured, or how it can be viewed in your Salesforce CPQ system. Let's see. So I am quoting for 1 year here. So for 1 year, you see, I have my MS Office 365 Basic. Okay. For MS Office 365 Basic, I am charging for $10. Okay. Now, for this particular MS Office 365, I need to pay a $10 as a $10. Let me remove the discount here also. Save. All right. So I'm what I have been selling. I am selling just MS 365, which is the $10 per month, which could be a 12 for 12 months. It could be a 120. Just a MS Basic. Let me add a product called Access. MS Access. MS Access. Okay. So I have Microsoft Access PC only. In this scenario, you see how this price will look like. You see, MS Access I am selling as a standalone, not in a particular bundle actually. So my bundle, one main bundle is Business Basic. In that basic, I have my Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Team, Outlook, Exchange, OneDrive, and SharePoint. All the prices are included, which is a price of my Business Basic package product price. If I'm selling as a standalone to this particular MS Access, Microsoft Office Access, I have a $50 I have to charge. So total will become $50 multiplied by 12 will become a $600 plus 120. So $720 I have to, my customer has to pay. Okay. What is the other way around that I have set up? Similarly, let me add another group here. So this is the group of for where I'm selling MS Office Basic, MS Basic plus MS Access separately. If I'm going to add another group here, in the second group, I would like to quote to a customer called Microsoft Office Standard, not the basic. Microsoft Office, not the basic, call standard one. Because my basic has your standard has your basic, including your MS Access both. So you see, this standard package has your basic all inclusive, including your Microsoft Access price. Both. If I select this price, if this bundle, In this particular bundle, let me remove my first item here because I do not want to make it more complicated here. I like to remove this. Okay, so now you see earlier I was charging for 720. Now you see this MS standard has your basic, means all your Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Excel, including your Microsoft Access PC version also, which is already included in this particular standard package itself. So here my customer is getting $10 extra discount. Call, I'm charging just a $50 for standard, which has your MS Access, including your Microsoft basic business package. Both. So I'm charging 600 rather than charging 720. So this is the one way you can set up a pricing for your standalone or package pricing also. Now, another approach or there another approach could be where I would like to discuss about the another scenarios and example. We can also set up a discount based on multiple bundles selected in a quote. So let's suppose if if my customer is selling Microsoft Basic, including Microsoft Dynamics 365 Core, in this scenario, I need to apply a 35% discounting. So let me show you. If I have selected my MS365 Basic as well as let me delete first. Delete this group. Here, group here. I'm going to add first basic one, Microsoft Business Basic, as well as Microsoft Dynamics. MS365 Dynamics. What is my logic is saying if I'm clubbing these two bundle together, these two product together, in that scenario, I need to get automatically a 35% discount, which is coming with help of additional discount called 35%. How you can fulfill this discount? With help of your price rule engine. So let me show you how my price rule will look like. I have created one price rule. That price rule is saying that if the particular code has your Microsoft Dynamic as well as basic, just give us an additional discount of 35%. So my price condition is saying called dynamic condition. This dynamic condition has your tested variable. It is calculating your MS Basic and Dynamics both. These two summary variable are counted and sum. Based on this condition get true, I am setting this additional discount of 35%. You can see I have setting a customer discount of 35%. So with help of this particular price rule logic, you can also give us an extra discount if I'm clubbing two bundles together while quoting to the customer. So this is the one of the problem statement where my customer is saying that how we can fulfill this particular like a discount model while using your Salesforce CPQ ecosystem. Okay, let's move to the another problem statement. Okay, now my problem statement here is one of my customer is having their license system for hotels. Okay, they provide a hotel software. In that scenario, they have different software mechanism, selling price for different hotel rates. Okay. So one of their, they have one scenarios where they would like to bill to the customer to their like a hotels based on the properties, and sometimes they also would like to bill to their like a customer based on the number of rooms. So if my number of rooms are increasing, my price has to be increased or discounted. Or sometime what it happen, based on my flat rate, this particular model has to be there. Okay, how we can fulfill? Of course, CPQ also provide that particular facility where you can define a pricing based on per room price or per quota price. So based on your quota, based on your room number, you can apply those level of pricing in the system. Now let me show you how you can like visualize that pricing model in our Salesforce CPQ environment. So that I told you, I have a two level of pricing. One is called flat price, means per property price. My property is saying this for this property. I have this software which is applicable, which is property based pricing. Another one is called for this property. I have a 30 room, 20 room, or 100 room, or 200 room. Based on 200 rooms, I need to apply this particular price. So depending on the number of rooms, my pricing is going to be vary. Okay. I'm putting my like opportunity for Clark Hotel, which is Clark in USA. I'm selling one of my Pioneer product. I'm installing that Pioneer product, Pioneer software for my company, for my customer called Clark Hotel. So I have a Clark Hotel basic 1.0 per annum price. So this is my fixed price for Clark Hotel. So here you see 4,500 is a per annum price, which is the flat rate for my Clark Hotel. So Clark Hotel, I have a one product called Clark Hotel 1.0 basic per annum, which is my price for that particular property for that particular product. Now I have another version of Clark Hotel 2.0, which is advanced per room basis price. So if I have been changing my quantity from 10 to 200 or 10 to some other prices, actually, you see, for 10 quantity, for 10 room, I have a 2000 that I have to charge to my customer. If that property has a 200 room in size, then click on a calculate. My pricing is going to be very called 5,000 and so on. So with help of this model, a product setup model, you can set up your pricing strategy. So either you can set up a price as a flat price, either you can set up a price based on particular criteria or attribute. So in this scenario, our attribute is called a number of rooms. So based on number of room, my pricing is varying. Let me show you how this product will look like in our Salesforce ecosystem. So first of all, price per room price. This is my product code, room price. In this scenario, I am using a pricing method called block price. In that block price, if you see, I have one related item called block price here. For 1 to 10, based on different what you call block range, I have a different pricing strategy. I have different pricing model that I have defined. Price here for 1 to 10, I have $100. From 11 to 25, I'm charging 200. From 25 to 100, I am charging for 300 pricing. So the moment your number of rooms are increasing, your pricing may be increasing or decreasing. So depending on your scenario, you can set up this block price in the Salesforce CPQ ecosystem. And the first one that I was talking about, the per annum price, which is your basic or flat rate per hotel price, is not dependent on your room-based price. Let me open this one. Is a lease price, is a normal price, is not a block price pricing method. Pricing method call is a lease price. In that lease price, what I did, I have just set up a price for my lease price of 5,000 USD per annum. You see, 4,500 USD per annum. Simple. So this way you can solve this particular approach where you have a pricing depending on your quantity of room, quantity of your number of license or whatever. So based on these attribute, you can set up your a pricing strategy, your pricing. Thank you. Let me move to the another I talked about this like a pricing which is going to be very like for Clark Hotel 1.0 basic per annum. This price is pricing for property wise pricing. Another pricing I was talking about where I was discussing for 2.0 per room prices basis, where pricing is totally dependent on the number of rooms. This way you can solve your problem. Now coming to the another scope where I was talking about my customer is normally used to hanging for crying for this particular automation in the system. Actually, they are always like a losing money for their renewals, for their manual renewal and manual activities. So lots of activity that they have been doing. Why I'm losing my money in a renewal? I'm not doing my renewal on time. So just because of not doing a renewal on time, I'm losing my money. Losing my revenue actually. So how you can solve this particular approach? How you can solve this particular problem? So the problem statement is again I'm repeating. They do not have the defined renewal process. They are doing all renewal manually. They need to again wait for that renewal, and then they are just monitoring that renewal again and again. It's time consuming, and they sometimes leave that renewal, and sometimes they forget that renewal, and just because of this delay and this late process, they are losing their revenue, they are losing their money. So how you can approach this solution? Of course, in Salesforce CPQ, there is a wide variety of automation you can do. I will i will teach here two renewal process, which is a two renewal automated process in your Salesforce CPQ environment. One process is where you can automate with help of your workflow rule, time-based workflow rule. Another process which is called your schedule-based process, which is a Salesforce generally used to provide that best practices to utilize that. Okay. Before we start with this renewal, so renewal always happen on your contract. So first, what we have to do, you will have to just have your contract in place. That contract will tell you, okay, my contract is going to be start from this date and going to be end on this date. My system will automatically read those contract which is yet to be renewed. Let's suppose my company is saying that before 3 months, please go ahead and create a renewal opportunity and renewal notifications to my managers, to my bosses. Of course, what I'm saying, you have to introduce a contract. You'll have to create an automated process to create a renewal opportunity, a renewal quote in advance. You have to send an email reminder to your sales rep and their manager to notify them, okay, this renewal opportunity is created, this renewal quote is created, please go and do the needful. And also, my process will set up likewise where I have been creating an automated task for them so that they should not forget to initiate that process to fulfill that agreement with the company to their customer. So let me tell you about some of the approach that I was talking about. If you see, I have my like a contract which is going to be end on 23rd of 25th September. And this 25th September, I have one of my subscription line which is called Microsoft Office Business Basic line. In order to renew that process, there is a one method where I can go do the manual renewal forecast and renewal quoting checkbox. So what these two checkbox generally used to do? If I click on renewal forecast true and renewal quoted true, renewal forecast will automatically create a renewal opportunity and renewal quoted will automatically create a renewal quotation for that opportunity. This is the one way where I have been doing manually. Second way, I have created a custom action button where this renewal forecast and renewal quoted is automatically checked. I need to just hit a save button. What it does, it will automatically check these check boxes called renewal forecast and renewal quoted. Okay, you see the renewal forecast and renewal quoted is automatically gets set here. And what it does in a behind this renewal is still in progress stage. Okay, so this is the button click that I am proposing to you. Another way how you can achieve rather than clicking manual, how you can approach to automate within that system. I talked about it. There is a two scenarios. One is called time-based workflow rule. Another one is called your sorry. First one is your workflow, time-based workflow. Second one is your schedule or called batch class. Okay. Let me show you very quickly about those batch class or those renewal process informations. Let me open that. And right. So this one I was talking about the renewal batch class. Another one I was talking about time-based workflows. This article, you can read the automation of contract renewal in Salesforce CPQ. Here you see they have given you an approach. Often organizations try to accomplish a sequence of automation to set the status of contract to activated, set the renewal forecast and renewal quoted to true via workflow. So you will have to create a workflow, time-based workflow, where this will automatically set this renewal forecast and renewal quoted to true, and that will automatically creates a renewal quote and renewal opportunity. So depending on the amount of contract on your organization, create this CPQ organization can utilize, can use the time-based workflows action either on creation or establish a time frame before on criteria such as contract end date. So you can utilize, you can discuss with your customer saying that 10 days before, 1 month before, 3 months before, reading those contract end date, setting up the time-based workflow. That time-based workflow will automatically set this renewal forecast and renewal quote to true. And further, CPQ engine will take care of these renewal quotations and renewal opportunity. So this one is the with help of your time-based workflow. Another way, you have a process called a batch process called custom coding or custom Apex logic. So let's suppose some of the logic you have very complex in nature, right? Where you have lots of like a calculations, where you have a lots of dependent criteria. Let's suppose for premium customer, for this particular contract amount, where your contract amount is very big in nature, you do not have any like a pending payment milestone or pending invoices or something, blah, blah, blah. Then in this scenario, you need to opt a complex logic and how you can fulfill, you need to create this batchable Apex class. So this batchable Apex class where in your query locator, they are reading, okay, renewal forecast and renewal quoted for is false and where the contract start date and end date is pending. Means contract end days is coming to the 10 days before or 20 days before. you need to execute the renewal forecast to true and renewal quotation to true. So this way, you can also set up your batch process, and that batch FS class, you'll have to make it schedulable so that that batch class will automatically get executed on every day or twice in a day or three times in a day, so that your batch class will automatically take care of this automation of creating this renewal quotation and renewal opportunity. All right. So let's move to the another like a slide deck that I do have. Thank you. So now I talked about most of the problem statement and how you can solve this problem statement in your Salesforce CPQ ecosystem. These are the list of some couple of like best practices that I generally used to prefer to do for my customer, where utilize more standard CPQ features rather than doing a lots of customizations. And never doing like a customization. I don't believe much in customization. Of course, some things which cannot be achieved your standard process, of course, you have to do the simplifications. Set up more automation to minimize the clicks and time. So you have to do some automations also rather than clicking, rather than your sales rep is figuring out how you have to do or what you have to do next. Okay. So you need to do some kind of like automations. Set up approvals and notification to avoid delay and errors. So let's suppose some of your quotations and have some legal terms. Some of your customer, some of your quotations has a very big in amount, big in size. So in that scenario, you have to involve your approval mechanism to your finance team, your legal team, your deal desk team. That approval notifications and approval mechanism has to be there in place in the Salesforce system. Now, Salesforce CPQ best practices recommended to utilize an one automation type. If the trigger are the selected type, a limit one per object is recommended, meaning that you do not need to create a multiple triggers on a one object. This is the best practices Salesforce generally is referred to do. It is the best practice to have a few price book as soon as possible. Do not to create like a bunch of price book where you are confused. Okay, for this particular product, for this particular line item, you have to utilize a price book A, price book B, or price book C or D. So do not make it more complex while using your price book. Okay. Best practices is to fewer than the 10 prices actions per price rule. Okay. So if you are using your price rule, do not create a multiple price actions within one price rule. So at max, you can use like a 10 price action in a price. So these are the list of some best practices that I have drafted so far. And I hopefully you guys are enjoying this particular like a Salesforce CPQ hours webinar and seminar. This side Amul, I am repeating myself again. And please feel free to contact us at amul@kriyaconsulting.com. If you guys have any questions or any query related to Salesforce CPQ, related to some enhancement, related to any kind of like a optimization while using your Salesforce CPQ ecosystem, please like, share, and comment on my YouTube channel also. Thank you so much.